All right, here we are again. So we're working on something different today, but I wanted to show you what we figured out with the Maverick. We started off on our bag bracket mount, this mounted on our upper control arm. We've got so much pivot with that short arm, it was kicking the bag over into the truck. Didn't work. So we ended up making a swivel on the A-arm tube that would allow this to rotate. It actually worked really good, but when you threw a lot of air to it, it wanted to push the bag out. So we ended up making this mount against the spindle. Works awesome. Bag's good and straight. You can throw a ton of air at it. There's one problem. Spindle turns. So we ended up making another plate. We put a bearing in the center of it, kind of like a strut would be. So we get a little bit of movement when we turn, but not a lot, and that's full turn, so it's only when we're parking. So this should work really good. We ought to be able to hop this sucker. All right, we've got a 69 Camaro. It's one of our builds here. We're just about to finish it up. Got a pretty nasty LS3 in it. It's got a really good cam, but basically the heads are still pretty much stock, so the rocker arms are stock, and they're limited on range of motion. So as the cam's moving, you know, these things are kind of pinging, they're noisy, so you hear people be like, man, why's my LS3 so loud? Well, that's why it's loud, because it's ticky right there. So Joey's putting some aftermarket trunnions in here that's going to kind of help that.
Yeah, what we have here is we're putting in bearings and new pivots on these, and they got full 360-degree rotation, no limitation at all. So it shouldn't have any ticking or noise or...
You get that lift on that camera, bah! So I think we're gonna go over work on the cafe bike a little bit. Hopefully we can come back in a minute and fire this dude up. Okay, on to the fun stuff now. This is what I like to do. So we've got a cafe bike we're building. This is a CB750. Cognito Moto sent us a bunch of stuff on this bike. We've got the headlight, got the foot assemblies, all that stuff. We've got the brain that's going to be under the seat. Everything's going to wire to that. It's looking pretty cool so far. Here's the problem with these bikes though. These engines are a dry sump, so there's a huge oil tank that sits right here and it looks bad. Blah, 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 blah. So we were gonna have this be the oil tank. We thought about the swing arm, which all would have been pretty cool. And then I ran across this place called Outsiders Motorcycles, and they have this, basically this part that turns this into a wet sump so you have no external tank, which looks so badass. So I'm gonna show you that in a minute. So let's see if we can start working on getting this engine out of here. I'm pretty sure it'll come out. If you just don't have enough ass, you just say so. I can finish the exhaust. I got it, don't worry about it. That's why I'm a painter. I don't like it. Well, what good is that? Well, if you ever wanted to know how to air up a tire, it's like dolly off-roading. Still pretty good. Dun, dun, dun. Okay, so we found metal in the pan. Obviously not good. We did run this engine though. It sounded really good, so it's interesting, but you know, something's giving way. So we need to mock all this stuff up, but I might have a lead on another engine, so I'm not going to get too carried away, but I'm going to show you how this works. Now this is the Sump Thing from Outsiders Motorcycles. So it's really cool. So it's going to bolt on right where that existing pan was. Then you're going to take the oil pump apart. You're going to use this section of your pump. It's going to bolt into place here, and then your original pan is going to bolt back over the top of it, and that's going to house your oil in place and essentially make it a wet sump. So if you've got one of these 750 CBs, man, this thing is really worth getting. Super inexpensive, really nice piece too. I mean, look at that. But like I said, I've got a lead on another one. My buddy may have one at his shop, so let's go check it out. Like I said, my buddy's got a few things. He's got a ton of vintage bikes, 750s everywhere, like quintessential like 750 race bike. The reason we have cafe bikes now, like this stuff's just so cool. But he's got a warehouse in the back full of engines. He's got a couple storage containers full of bikes. So we're gonna see if we can sneak in those, see maybe we can pick out another engine. I mean, there's even a UTV on top. They're freaking everywhere. All right, in one of the warehouses here, so here's a pallet of them. These are a bit more torn apart than I think I want to start with. There's another one down on the end, a couple up high. I know there's more. I say we keep looking. All right, one last little honey hole. So we've got another engine sitting here. I wish we could just bolt it in, but it's got to be torn apart too. So if we're gonna have to tear one down, we'll go ahead and do that one. Just go ahead and do a build. All right, so we know what we're doing with the bikes. We'll come back on another episode, do a full engine build on that. So we've got the Camaro finished up. So let's see what she sounds like. Fire it up.